Salutations, dear viewers. So here is a statue of Alexander, of that name the First. You can see him without seeing me. What better place for a lesson about him than in front of the memorial to him? And it says, in grateful remembrance of Emperor Alexander the First from a grateful Russia. So he became a Tsar in 1801 when his father Paul died, some say poisoned by his own household staff. And the impressionable young Alexander I inherited the throne, and he met Napoleon famously at Tilsit on that barge in the middle of the lake. And supposedly somebody was sitting beneath the barge listening in, an advisor. And first of all he formed an alliance with Napoleon, but rapidly fell out with him. Napoleon had his continental system to try to starve the United Kingdom of trade, the nation of shopkeepers, as Napoleon contemptuously called the British. But Alexander I then fell out with Napoleon, and he began trading with the United Kingdom anyway. So Napoleon realized that he couldn't let this go unpunished. If Russia was going to trade with the UK, other countries would too, and the whole continental system would fall apart. The UK would prosper through commerce, and France would never be able to defeat the United Kingdom. So Napoleon, to enforce this, he invaded Russia, which proved to be a fatal mistake. On Midsummer's Day, 1812, crossed the river into Russian territory. It's crucial to the novel War and Peace by Tolstoy. Anyway, and there you see here on the plinth, it's seen. It's the Emperor's victory speech in Paris. Which date in March is it? 19th of March, 1814, as in after Napoleon's first abdication. What was I going to say? So yeah, that's when Papa Violette, Napoleon, he abdicated at Fontainebleau and told his imperial guard, "I shall be home before the violets bloom again." That's why he's Papa Violette to Bonapartists. As we know, Napoleon came back for another go. So Russian troops had fought all the way to Paris, and some Russian army officers were exposed to liberal notions and brought them home. And there were two societies, a northern society and a southern society, of Russian aristocrats who were corresponding about whether they ought to have some reforms here, an elected parliament only for the propertied classes. Here you have the Battle of Nations, Leipzig in Germany in 1813. So after Napoleon left Russia with his tail between his legs, the coalition closed in on him, and there was a massive battle at Leipzig in Germany in which the French were defeated. I say the French, but of course La Grande Armée had men from almost every European country. On this statue here you can see the double-headed eagle of the Romanov house, with the crown on each head and then a shared crown between them. This is the symbol which has been replaced repeatedly. Anyway, Alexander I, he died in 1825, and he was replaced by his brother Nicholas I, and that led to the revolution of 1825. It was a failed revolution, the December Revolution in St. Petersburg, which really was just some soldiers being ordered to gather in a certain square, chanting Constantine and a constitution, some of them wrongly thinking Constitution was Constantine's wife. People had no idea what it was. Most people were illiterate back then. So with a whiff of grape shot, they were dispersed. So it was a revolution which lasted one day. Because it failed, I suppose we shouldn't really call it a revolution. You should see the opera about it, The Decemberists, which came out in the 1950s. Bizarrely, the opera is very much classical style. It was not really the style of the 50s. Obviously, under the Tsars, no one would be allowed to produce an opera which was a valorizing revolution. Well, that's enough from the Alexandrovsky Garden. This garden is named in the honor of that emperor, Alexander I. You can see a statue in the background, get an idea of the scale of it. I shall switch it off now.